So here it is, hang on. Here it is, the McLaren 750s, the last ever McLaren powered solely by petrol alone. Now in today's view, I'm going to launch it from 0 to 60, take it on some motorways, country lanes, round town, and put it up against a McLaren 720s. I'm Max Satovani, and welcome to Driven Plus. And today I've managed to source a McLaren 720s just so you can understand the visual differences between the 720 and 750s, just so you can understand what's changed. And the answer is yes, you really do have to squint really hard to understand what has changed. But that's one downfall for the 750s. Comparing the two cars, they look too similar. In fact, too alike. Now it's when we come to the rear of the 750s versus 720s, you now understand what's changed. Quite a lot. Now let's start with the reflectors here. They're different. Coming down, there's some pockets here. The metal mesh, that's all different. Centralised exhaust on the 750s as opposed to the twin on the 720. I think the rear lights are different as well. McLaren badge, that's on the bumper, whereas the McLaren badge is on the metal mesh on the 720s. Now, can we get the 720s to rev its engine up? And what about the 750s? 720s again? 750s? Which one do you think sounds better? Now they both use a 4-litre V8 engine, 720s 710 horsepower, 750s 730 horsepower, and the 750s gets 30 more newton meters of torque. Now, McLaren say the 750s will do 0 to 60 in 2.8 seconds. So let's find out. So just before we go out for the launch, I'm just waiting for the car to go up to temp, and Troy is now going to demonstrate how I put the car into launch control, because it's not as straightforward as we may think, is it, Troy?
Well, this will be a first.
Yep.
Okay, launch control is designed to offer maximum acceleration from a standing start. Warning, the launch control system is not appropriate for use on public roads and should only be used in safe environments such as the track. Before initiating launch control, ensure all doors, luggage compartment and service covers are closed and prevailing conditions are suitable for performing maximum acceleration manoeuvres.
Okay.
Anyway, so
how do I put it into launch?
I know, there's 2 pages, Max, for this. Apply the parking brake. Press the launch button to switch off launch. What? Okay, here we go. Using launch control. Ensure the steering wheel's in a straight ahead position. It's a good start. Depress the brake pedal firmly with your left foot and select first gear. Press the launch button. L will flash in the gearbox mode indicator. C manual, automatic mode, blah, blah, blah. With your left foot remaining on the brake pedal, press and hold the accelerator pedal down fully with your right foot. The engine speed will increase to 3,200 RPM. You can abort it at this point. Release the brake pedal with your left foot and the launch control will perform a launch start to give maximum acceleration. Another load of notes, you don't really need to know them, they're advisables to look out for. Launch control will operate in the procedure and has been followed correctly until aborted. I don't know what aborted means, but try and miss fences.
Any more?
There's a lot more pages in this, Max.
I'm all right. On to the launch. Yeah, so after all that, the launch, it didn't really go to plan, to be honest. We did manage to get a launch, in which you will see right now. And as you can see, we managed to get a 4.56, which is not even close to what McLaren say it can do in 2.8 seconds. But what I will promise though is that when the weather dries up and it gets really warm, we'll take it out again and get a proper launch. Now, this bit's quite interesting. Now, when we have the car's side on, 750s here, the 750s is a Spider, the 720s is a Coupe. Which one do you prefer the side profile of? That's a good question. Anyway, the 750s, as we come to the front wheel arch, you have wheel arch fenders. Now, this is an optional extra on the 750s, which has obviously been ticked on this one. However, on the 720s, that wasn't an option at all. Now, as we come on to the side here, that's carbon fibre intake. 720s is a different design Wheels are the same size all round as well. Now the McLaren 750s is finished off in a fire black, which is an MSO paint. This is finished off in something called Saros Blue. Now, as we come to the rear, as you can see, one big difference is the spoiler. On the 750s, it's 20% larger, equating to a 5% increase in downforce for the 750. Now, when we have the cars side by side, obviously 750s here, 720s here, starting with the bonnet. Now, the 750s has the carbon fibre bonnet. This one has a painted. This looks ace, doesn't it? But as we come to the eye sockets, take a deep look, because the eye sockets are slimmer on the 750s. As you can see, there's a bigger gap here than there is here. It's smaller. And also the bumper. The 750s is one massive clean design, whereas the 720s, there's a few different body parts going on. But what do you think? What do you prefer? Do you prefer the 750s look, or do you prefer the 720s look? Let's go and have a look inside. So inside of the McLaren 750s, it's very, very similar to the 720s. But let's start with things that are different. This mounting here. Now, one thing that has changed is the flip dash from the 720s, but you get this, but it's all kind of driver focus. You move the column and that moves with it too. Now all your sport modes and handling modes have gone on here, powertrain, handling, whatever you want to change. Down here, Apple CarPlay is now standard, but you have to have it plugged in. And another thing here, as you can see, the exposed carbon fibre, that's now standard on the 750s. You should have to pay for that on the 720. What else have we got? We've got USB-C sockets, 12-volt sockets down there. How many cup holders have we got? Got one there, two, so you can bring someone passenger and they will sit comfortably. But what about if you've got a bigger bottle than that? Well, yeah, that doesn't fit. Right, let's get out on the road. Oh, Troy?
Hi, Max.
I'm just a little bit concerned because I've just turned to go to turn the engine on and it says we've only got 27 days left because it looks 50% to me.
So, Max, I've got a lot of OCD and this really annoys me. So I phoned the dealership because on my old 720, you had 45 days of charge in the battery. Whenever I've charged this car up, it only shows 27 days, but it's got like a part of the display that
it shows 50% full.
Yeah, like a tank on a car.
Yeah.
When I phoned them, they turned around and said, oh no, it's smaller battery now. So it's actually, you only get 29 days on a full charge.
Right.
So I don't know why the software developers didn't make 29% full. Instead, they've left 45 days in, but you can never get to 45 days.
So for anyone wondering what the McLaren 750s is like, it's still very McLaren-like. Now, firstly, we're going to start the test out in here in the country in a very wet and miserable North Wales. But I have to say, the 750s is responding super nicely to these roads. That's because it has a retuned chassis, new springs, new dampers, and the front track is 6mm wider as well. And the steering rack has been retuned, so it's super responsive. And this weather isn't the best at all to understand this car's capabilities. What is it, 5 degrees outside and it's wet? It's horrible. It's the worst conditions I'd ever want to drive a car in. However, I'm lucky enough to sit here and say I've driven a 750s to its full capabilities around Estoril track. And I can say this is the best car I've ever driven, and it's just the experience you get is unmatched. A mid-engine car, the balance of this car, it just pivots around the centre of the car. And at that time, Cayman GT4, that was the best car I've ever driven until I drove a 750s. The experience you get from one of these is unmatched. It really is. But to really test the limits of the car, you really have to push this car to its full limit. But we won't be doing that today, Mr. McLaren. I already know what you're capable of. Now the 750S gets something called PCC 111, which stands for Proactive Chassis Control Linked Hydraulic Suspension. And the 750S gets the latest version of that, and it uses the same philosophy as the 720S. Inverted dampers, no anti-roll bars, so all the dampers are controlled or linked via a fluid system. So you really can apply so much pressure to the suspension and it just will not budge. And this is where you get that sense of feeling like you're gliding. One thing I love from all McLarens is the vision you get from that front windscreen. It's like a snow globe. Everything just feels so zoomed in and you have so much vision, so much connectivity. For me, McLarens, so driver focused, I love them. And especially with it being a rear wheel drive setup as well, the front wheels just feel ever so loose, so planted. And the fact that it's got a retuned steering rack as well, coming from the 720S, that's a great driver's car. But coming into the 750, well, they've only gone and made it better. I just want to demonstrate to you how hard it is to get traction in this weather today. 305 profile tyres, Pirelli P0s, 4 degrees outside, it's raining, and I've got 740 horsepower under my right foot, going to the rear wheels only. Let's put my foot down. Not at all. So sorry guys, but that's all you're getting. I'll try again. It's not having it at all. We'll have to save that for a sunny day. One thing I love are the paddles. Listen to them. Wow, and the gearbox is super responsive as well. 10% quicker shifts than the 720, but oh, I can't get bored. And I can downshift with one hand, look. See? Wow, that downshift is mega. Oh, that click, click. I like that. Right, it's time to get on the motorway. Let's go. Now here we are, coming on to the motorway or dual carriageway. What's the visibility like coming on? Yeah, really, really good. You can check your shoulder. And the wing mirror is actually placed in a really good position as well. And it's big, makes you see. I'm happy with that. Now, believe it or not, the 720S is actually a faster car than the 750S. Hear me out. When this 750S reaches its top speed of 206 miles per hour, the 720S will come passing on its way to 212 miles per hour. And that's because McLaren have reduced the gear ratios between each gear, therefore resulting in a lower top speed. However, the 750S will get to 206 miles per hour quicker than the McLaren 720S. Put it this way, the 750S will go from 0 to 124 miles per hour or 0 to 200 kilometers miles per hour in 7.2 seconds. The 720S will do that in 7.8, and in the supercar world, that's massive. But how does it respond if you're mad enough to commute in a 750S to work? Well, do you know what? These seats make a huge difference, and these are the comfort seats. If you spec it with P1 or Senna seats, then you're really going to suffer. Put it this way, I've been driving this for a good hour now and I haven't felt uncomfortable one bit. If I was in the P1 or Senna seats, I think I'd probably wanted to get out by now. But for me, it just glides over the roads, super smooth, surprisingly really comfortable. And the noise isn't so bad either. If you want it louder, you can put that window down there. You've got more noise from the engine, which I like. Let's bring that up for now. The only massive noise is from those massive 305 profile tyres. You can hear them, but it's a supercar at the end of the day. What can you expect? And spacious-wise, it's a beautiful, beautiful place to be. As I said before, it's like sitting in a snow globe. It's massive in here, it feels spacious, it doesn't feel claustrophobic. Which, this is what I love about these cars. It's such a compliant car. Now I want to see how responsive the car is. I'm sitting at 60 miles per hour. Let's drop it down to 50 and say someone comes up alongside me and tempts you to put your foot down to 70 miles per hour. how long does it take for the car to wake up? So I'm in 7th gear, the two rear tyres are both at 24 degrees Celsius and it's 8 degrees outside. I haven't got much faith, but let's find out. Yeah. Wow, that's seriously impressive. Wow. I was actually really impressed with how that grip then. Much better than I imagined. So the answer to that question is it's super responsive and super grippy, even in the worst of weathers. So as you can see, we are now coming up to a bit of a built-up area, and all of a sudden we have some obstacles in our way, some road bumps. Yes, so what I will do, I will press the nose lift, which will take 4 seconds to lift. Now on the 720 that took 10 seconds, so that's a drastic improvement. So you will not hold up traffic and get unnecessary attention from what you already would get anyway. Yes, you not draw attention to yourself in this car whatsoever. The roof characteristics are the exact same as well. It will lower in 11 seconds up to a maximum speed of 31 miles per hour, but I genuinely physically cannot try that because I'm driving this in Wales and we have a 20 miles per hour speed limit. Anyway, let's try it. 11 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's still one of the fastest in the industry. That's incredible. Fair play, McLaren. That's pretty nippy. The gearbox as well is responding really nicely. 7-speed dual clutch transmission, and it's really smooth. And yes, because I am driving a rather exotic car in a working class town of Wrexham, I can confirm I am getting some peculiar looks. Yes, do not buy a McLaren 750s if you want to blend in. Expect weird stares, people doing weird things. Yes, I'm not Rob McElhenney or Ryan Reynolds. If I had a Wrexham cap on though, that would be interesting. But let's find the nearest supermarket to test out what the McLaren 750s is like to park. So I want to reverse in this parking bay here, so I'm just going to line myself up nicely, put it in reverse, and what parking aids do we have? We have 360 cameras. Look at that on a supercar. So it's super easy, as you can see, to park. Yeah, I'm not going very good there. Take it out, back again. The turn and circle ain't the best, but come on, what can you expect? There we are, tidy. Reversing camera on the dash as well. There we are. Beautiful, like so. And because I've been driving it around today, let's have a look what we've averaged. So since start, all day we've averaged 16.7 to the gallon. And that rounds off my review on the McLaren 750s. I hope you enjoyed, and I shall see you next time. Please like and subscribe. Thank you.